Hi friends, welcome to Aishusdiy. Today we will design a necklace using uh, Sams Bead Box subscription. So I have here some of the beads that I have left over. I made a pink necklace and earrings, and these are the triangle beads, and this was 6 millimeter, and this is really nice check glass bead, and also this 8 millimeter. We have all of these, so I want to design something with this. We need a finding per se, so that finding, so I picked up this heart charm, and this is actually a part of a toggle clasp, and I want to use this actually in this design. Valentine's Day is coming. This can be Valentine's Day special. I'm using soft flex soft touch in the fine strength, and it's 0.014 inch. The thing is, I have cut myself about, say, 2 3/4 feet. That's how much I cut. Let me just measure it for you guys, just in case if you guys want to know the exact one. So, oopsie daisy. Sorry, that's my turquoise bead which is running around. 12, 24, and little shy of 3 feet. That's what I would say. So it's just safe to have a little bit more than less, is my opinion. And then also we need crimp tubes or crimp beads, whichever you have available, you can use that. I'm using crimp tubes. That's what I have normally in stash. Okay, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is add, so this heart, I wanted this heart to be like this, so I'm just going to put a crimp tube. Okay, go through this, actually go through this heart. Okay, I want this to be like this. Okay, like this. So I just fold over my wire into half. Okay, and then I'm going to take a crimp tube and put it on both wires. Okay, and bring the crimp tube all the way here, right next to my finding, just like so. Then go ahead and crimp it. Okay, and now we have this. So let's start stringing. I got myself some 8 or seed beads. This is smoky amethyst AB. It's Japanese seed beads. I'm going to use that with from my stash here. So I will put these also here. So it's kind of the color coordinates. I am starting with an 8. I want this strand both to be together. So that's our first strand, first bead. Okay, next I'm going to add a 4 millimeter truck faceted bead, check glass, and then I'm gonna add this. These are some spaces from my stash, so I'm gonna add that as well. And then this nice berry shaped beads, berry color beads, and then uh, 8 millimeter truck beads, check glass. So and I'm looking at it and I don't know if I like it or not. The 8 seems to be very dull, but maybe this will work. So we need to see the pattern. First let me just put this pattern here and see. Just take one strand and let's just go over the pattern first and then see if it looks good. Okay, I will put this bead 1 and then this one, which I really don't like. So that's that. Instead of putting the bead spacer here, I can try the bead spacer here. And then a bead spacer. Okay. I am not so sure about the color combo, but kind of looks good in my opinion. Maybe we don't even need this, right? Maybe we don't need the truck beads. Let's do this. Kind of looks good in my opinion. So let's do this. Okay. Take the crystal out and thread in the spacer. Actually, this purple bead on both the cords. Let's see where the hole is. And then a spacer, then this 8 millimeter, then a spacer, then this purple, and then the 8 millimeter, and drop it down. So this kind of looks good in my opinion. So this is the pattern that we are going to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these. Hang in there. Okay, take one of the cord, doesn't matter which one it is. Pick up a 6 millimeter, sorry, pick up this 6 millimeter. This will not work. So I removed all the other beads. I didn't like it that much. So I pulled out this 6 seed beads in this purple metallic color. I thought this color will coordinate all the other colors we have. So I started with an 8 seed beads and then 6 seed bead and then this berry color seed bead. Then we will add the 8 millimeter faceted truck beads. So at this point I wanted to see, this point I wanted to add an 8 seed bead here again. Actually, we don't even have to start with an 8, we can start with a 6 seed bead. This will cover our crimp as well, I think. Let's see. It's a 2-in-1. So I'm designing on the fly. Yeah, see, it almost there covered. That's okay. Even if it doesn't cover, doesn't matter. So add this bead after that, and then an 8 odd, and then truck bead. So this is the pattern. I did string. So now what I'm going to do is pick up this one strand, doesn't matter which one it is. Pick up 6 seed bead, a teardrop, and then a 6 seed bead. Okay, then one of these triangles. These has a top drill hole, which is what I'm using right now. And then 6 seed bead. So Softflex company had a Facebook video showing this pattern, and I really liked it, and I want to try with Sams Bead Box subscription items. So here we go. This is the sequence that I added. 6 seed beads, teardrop, 6 seed beads, the triangle bead, 6 teardrop, and the triangle. Pick up the thread that you added all these beads in. Remember, we just split those 2 strands and we added in only 1 strand. And then pick up that, come back through this 8mm, just this 8mm. Okay, and then pull everything close, just like so. Okay, now add an 8 seed bead. You have varied lengths with the two wires, because we used 1 wire to loop it right against it. So the pattern will get easy as we go by. I will show you guys how. So you can add any beads you want. Doesn't have to be a 6 or an 8 odd. 8 odd and 6 odds have bigger holes, so it's straightforward. You don't have to worry. For example, I pulled out this truck beads that I showed you guys, which I didn't like, so I just ended up taking it off, because I wanted to use this berry beads. I really like this a lot, so I wanted to use this in this pattern, and it also has a bigger hole, so there is no problem putting it together. See, this is a pattern I came up with, but you can actually do any pattern you want. After that, I will continue with the 6 seed bead. Okay, and then to separate each unit, there was nothing to separate each unit, I think, in the Softflex video, but I would like to add a little bit of a metal element inside my focal. I'm going to make rather big focal, and then I'm going to do the side strands. So this is going to be the focal, 2 hearts. It's going to be a U, and after this we will continue either bead stringing or macrame, whichever we want. So this is 1 unit, and I separated that unit by this with this roundel bead or spacer bead. Okay, then I will continue with the 6 seed bead. Okay, and then this berry bead, and then an 8 seed bead, and then the 8mm, and bring it all over here. So now I'm ready to add this bottom part. I call this loopy loop. Okay, so you can take either of the strands, doesn't matter. If you take the big strand, you will end up with you know, one full strand with a lot of wires. You can do that. I'm going to use the same strand. I'm fine with using the same. I have enough wire to work with. So at the end, how much ever I use, I will let you guys know exactly how much you need to take, so that you don't have to take a lot, providing that you use the same beads. You can actually use different beads, whichever you want. It's absolutely not necessary to use the same beads. The top 12 beads form a real nice pattern in this loopy loop part, and any top drill bead will work. The pip beads are the ones that the soft flex video used, but why not use this nice teardrop, check glass teardrop? So see this is what one of the strands have. Okay, I bring this down like this. Okay, and then I put this wire through the 8mm. This will make it loop around the 8mm. I guess now the pattern will be clear for you guys. So now pull everything together, and this is what you should have. Okay, now I added the 8 seed beads because I just wanted a little bit of a gap there. I don't even know whether it is needed or it is not needed, but I feel like there needs to be something right there. So I wanted to add an 8 seed bead on top of these. Okay, put the wires and then pull through, pull everything tight. Now take your take both wires and add the berry beads on top, followed by a 6 seed bead. And also it's important that you use the soft flex fine, or you can also use any bead stringing wire, the nylon coated, oops, so the nylon coated 7 strand or 19 strand or 49 strand, whichever you have available. You can use any of those, provided it's fine or it's thin. See this, it's 0.014 inch diameter. That's what I'm looking for, or 0.36 millimeter. That is the wire that you are supposed to use. Doesn't matter which brand it is. You can use any brand you want. So now again, another unit is done. So I'm using the other one, the third unit. So add one. Add the berry beads. We have enough beads to do at least 6 units, so that's what I'm gonna do. 6 units, the berry beads, and then 8, and then the 8mm. Once you add the 8mm, that's when you know you have to add the bottom loop. So take the shortest strand. That's what you have been using it. I have been using it, but it's not necessary that you have to use the short strand. You can alternate the strands as well. Take the triangle bead. I really like this triangle bead a lot that we got from this month's box. And also the teardrops. Teardrops are my favorite, all-time favorite. So once you add this, then you're ready to loop again. So take your wire and go through the 8mm, just the 8mm, not the entire one, just the 8mm from the side that you have been stringing with. Okay, that will make it form a loop just like that. And now I'm ready to add the 8 of seed bead. On both the strands, and then the peri bead on both the strands. You can use any beads you want, just make sure it has a bigger hole to accommodate 2 strands of this wire. And then a 6/0, a spacer bead, okay, and then again we shall start the next unit. So I'll finish the 6 units and come back. So I have finished stringing all these beads. Now I'll make sure there is not enough, there is not a lot of gap or wire showing, which I feel that it's showing here. So what I do is I just fix these by making sure everything is nice and tight. You can pull these wires until they are nice and tight. This is what we have so far. Then what am I going to do is I'm going to take a crimp tube, probably yeah, this should be good enough. I think size 1 crimp should be good enough. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this wire, we have quite a lot, and put the crimp tube through both the wires, okay, and come back through this hot charm or part of the clasp, that is what it is actually, and then come back through this crimp tube and a couple of beads here, okay. Once you pass through that, then you will be able to I'm just going to hold this and pull everything nice and tight. Pull it more so that, see this, there is a gap here. So what you need to do is you need to fix this now, otherwise it will not be fixed. Make sure you pull these cords individually, that way you can make sure this is nice and tight. Once you get it, go ahead and crimp the crimp tube, and then you can snip this excess wire off. I know we have a long wire, but you can use this to actually do the center part of the necklace, which is going to be with this pendant right here. That's what it has been done. Maybe this is a little bit less wire, but this is what it was done. So what we have to do is just take these two wires. This is the middle, which we know, right? Take both the wires together, just like so. And put all wire through some beads. So I need to see how the pendant lays. So I want this here. First I will add a 8mm truck bead. Okay, so this you can later separate this. Actually what you can do is take this off, take all of these together and put a crimp tube on top. If all the 4 wires don't go through it at the same time, it's okay, just split it and go through it one by one, then it'll be fine. And see how it lays down, it separates between the center bead, and that's what we want. Can you see that? Okay, once you're happy with it, don't go very close. We are fine with it being like this. Go ahead and crimp it just like so, and then now we have wire attached to the center of this necklace to add our pendant. So now take everything together and add whichever pattern you like. You add your beads down there. Okay, I'm gonna add a purple and probably this roundel bead. If it is not going through, just separate it, put 2 through, and then you can put the rest through. Yeah. Okay, and then I'll put in this dragonfly bead pendants. It's a flat queen pendant that we got from Sams Bead Box as well. I kind of like this pendant, and if you want to add something in the bottom you can, but I kind of like this the way it is. So I'm grabbing one more crimp tube, and then again I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna put it through all the wires. Okay, just like so. Bring it down. As I said, if one wire doesn't go through, it's okay, it's no big deal. Thread the rest first and then put the other one too. For me 3 wires went through, not the 4th, but not a problem, I just did that. So this is how it will be. So what you can do is you can leave this as it is like this, and sorry, you can leave this as it is like this, or you can add something to it. So I'm going to just crimp this bead right here shut, and I'm gonna leave the wire just like that for the time being. Maybe I'll change my mind, but for the time being I'm going to leave it like that. I really like the way it turned out to be. Very, very pretty. And I just want to keep this tails just like that in case I decide otherwise. Now I need to concentrate on the necklace part, so the back part. So this is where it is, and let's see how much distance is this, right? Let's measure this. Take a ruler, and it's about, say, 9 inches in total. Okay, 9 inches of length, and if you want it a little bit longer, it needs to be 9 more inch. We can do beaded wire, or we can do a different thing altogether. Whichever we want to do, we can just do bead stringing on one strand and call it a day, or we can do chain in this part and then call it a day. Because I have all the beads here, I would like to do what to say, some kind of a weave actually. So I'm thinking of doing this. Let's see what I will come up with. I have an arm span, not an arm span, yeah, a wingspan. It's an arm span of thread threaded to a size 10 beading needle. This is Wildfire 0.006 inch in the black color, and I have here 2 wire guardians that I want to use. I'm gonna do something with ladder stitch, okay, and we are going to do with 6s and 8s. So I have only this much 6 available in this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 4 of the 8-0 seed beads. So I'm going to make 2 rows of 8-0s and 1 row of so first I will pick up the wire guardian. So I will put this wire guardian through this loop. I think that's what will be easier for me. That's what I think will be easier for me. If only I can do that. It's not even going inside. There we go. I just opened it up a little bit and then I put it in here again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thread through this loop first. Okay. So for the rest of the necklace also, I thought of using these beads and bead stringing and not complicating much. But I'm not going to use the fine soft flex which I used it for this part of the necklace. I'm going to use a medium. There is medium, as you can see here. It says medium, and I think there is so in medium also there is a different all-purpose glass mineral. This one is 0.019. This one is also 0.019. This is soft touch, soft flex. This is beading wire. Premium flex wire doesn't matter. 26 pounds. It's just strength. So I can use any of these. So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to take some. We already have 9 inches, so we don't need much. So I'm just gonna take some, and what I'm going to do is I have here a thread wire guardian. So I'm going to put this wire guardian inside this loop of the heart. Gonna thread through the wire guardian loop. So basically in the wire guardian there is two loops on either side. You go through here, okay, and there's a channel on top, and then you come back through the other loop, just like so. This will provide strength. So when you pull through, this is how it will look. It provides strength for the wire and it looks nice and finished. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do here. Okay, instead of putting this inside, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put the wire guardian inside first, okay, and thread it like this. Okay, and come back through the loop. First we need to put a lot of things, okay, so this is the last that we need to do. Let it be like this. First we will thread in all the beads the way that we want. So I'll start with this 8/0 seed bead, okay, and then a 6/0, and then this 8mm, then 6/0, 8/0, okay, and then again this bead, then a 8/0, then a 6/0. Okay, so this is the pattern I'm going with. I'm seeing if this is good enough for this. Yeah, and then a 8/0, and then the 8mm, 6/0, 8/0, and then an 8/0. Okay, see this, I started with this and so I didn't want this. Okay, followed by an 8mm. You can follow any pattern you want, doesn't have to be this. Whichever looks good for you, you can go ahead and do it. And then this one right here, continued by an 8/0, a 6/0, and then the 8mm. Okay, the 6/0, 8/0, and then this bead right here. So I don't have a lot of this bead, so we have utilized more here, which is very important actually, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna, yes, this is what it is, and then a 6/0 and an 8/0, and let's measure this length. Okay, this is approximately 4 inches, say. If it is 4 inches, then there is 2 of the 4 inches which will make it 8 inches, and we need some more for the back, like 1 inch for the clasp, and we should be good to go. So if you want a little bit more space, you can add some seed beads, like you can alternate these seed beads just like so, just to give some more length in the back. Okay, sometimes when you are adding it, you might make it like one bead, it might be wrong, then you'll have to redo the entire thing. Just make sure it's fine before crimping. I think this distance should be good enough for me. I'm gonna add this to this. So first we will add the clasp at this end, and then we'll come back to attach it to here. You can use any clasp you want, but I'm going to use a regular clasp, which is going to be a lobster claw, because what I was thinking is it needs to be secure, so that's why I'm using the lobster claw clasp. You can also use a toggle clasp, or whichever clasp you want, you can use it. To the other end, I'm going to use this this closed twisted ring. So what I'm going to do is take a crimp tube, okay, take this lobster claw clasp, okay, come back through the crimp tube, just like so. And pull this as much as possible, like you want the loop to be short, and when you're happy with it, go ahead and take your pliers and crimp this, just like so, and push all the beads over here. This will go on top easily. Now this is what we have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the wire just about here. I'm going to take the wire guardian and put it inside this loop, push the wire here through one end of the loop, okay, come back through the other end, if possible the other channel as well in the wire guardian. Oops, we forgot the crimp tube. So the crimp tube first, and then the wire guardian, come back through the other loop, and then through the loop of the wire guardian. There we go. When you do this, you can pull this up all the way and make sure it's inside, and then go through the wire guardian, and a couple of beads. Take your loop pliers and pull everything together, and this is what we have so far. Make sure everything is nice and tight, and then go ahead and crimp that bead. Then you can snip off this excess wire with your wire cutters, and as you can see, it's nice and finished, nice and done, and it's really strong this side. So we have this side ready. Let me check how far it goes. It's perfect actually. So this is this end we need to work on. So I will do the same. First thread in all my beads. So I keep this as a sample so that I don't add the extra beads to the stuff. And then a 6/0 seed bead, and then an 8/0 seed bead. So I will do the same sequence as we did here, and then come back. So I threaded in all the beads and the same pattern as here, as you can see, Now I added the crimp tube at the end. Now I take my close jump ring and thread it through and back through the crimp tube. Because it's a size medium, it's a little bit tight inside here. Somehow it's not going through. Maybe I will use a different crimp tube. Okay. Come back through the crimp tube. Okay. Make sure the wire, see this, it is crisscrossing inside the crimp bead or crimp tube. Don't make it do that. Make it parallel just by holding it like this and then pushing the crimp tube towards the end of the necklace. Go ahead and crimp it and then move all these beads here, making sure the tail is hidden inside the beads. The beads are big enough hole, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to snip it off close. And move all these and then cut yourself about 1.5 inches of wire, because we need that much to go through the crimp tube and the wire guardian and come. So I want to put the wire guardian inside this loop here. Okay, that way it's easier for me, and then thread the wire through that wire guardian. Wire guardian loop on one side and take it up. Okay, and go through the loop first. That's what is easier for me to do, and then through the other end of the wire guardian loop. Now position the wire guardian properly, and then if you can push this, then everything will come back. And now you need to put this wire back through the crimp tube and a couple of beads if possible, which it is nice and big beads, so it will accommodate easily the wire. Now pull everything nice and tight right here, making sure it's still flexible and it's not very tight or so. And then go ahead and crimp this crimp tube. Now you have to snip off this excess wire close to the bead as possible. Basically our necklace is done. So as I said, if you want, what you can do is at the end here you can add couple of beads like this. Okay, you can separate this and then you can do a crimp again, so that will look nice. But I just want to leave it like very raw like that. Somehow I feel it that way. I really like it that way, so I'm gonna leave it that at that point. And this is our necklace. It's very pretty. I really like how the way it turned out to be, and I hope you guys like it too. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos, almost like a couple of videos a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.